Hi everyone, I'm Jason with Level Up Investing, and if you're new to this channel, welcome to the channel and thanks for stopping by and checking it out. And in this channel I talk about personal finance, investing, financial news, and on Tuesdays I do an educational video, whereas on Fridays I will do more of an action-oriented video on specific investments that I'm looking at. But today in this video I'm going to talk about the 5 investing tips from Rich Dad Poor Dad. So Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you're watching this channel, chances are you've heard of this book. It's a classic book on personal finance and investing by Robert Kiyosaki. And there are many lessons, many tips in this book. For many investors, it's the first book that really got you on your journey to personal finance and investing. That certainly was the case for me. So there are many tips, but I want to go over 5 specific ones for investing. And I want to review those and give you a little bit of background on how it's involved in personal finance as well as investing and how it relates to today. Okay, so let's go into the first investment tip from Rich Dad Poor Dad. And the first one I have here is number 1, make your money work for you. So in the book, he actually describes it as lesson number 1, the rich don't work for money. The rich have money work for them. So I paraphrased it and said, make your money work for you. And what that means is you want to make sure that you're taking every dollar that you have available and you are maximizing your return on that dollar. So you want to make sure you're taking into account where all your dollars are and are they in the right spot and are they giving you the best returns. So for example, if you looked at your entire financial situation and you said, okay, my dollars are in a checking account, so essentially it's in cash and not earning much, or a savings account. Are the dollars in certificates of deposit, or are they in money market funds? Maybe your dollars are in stocks, maybe you have invested in them, but you want to know, are they getting the most return? Are they in the right type of stocks? Are they in mutual funds or ETFs, or are they in individual stocks, and where am I getting my best return? The other thing is that it could be in real estate. And again, are my dollars in the right type of real estate? What kind of return am I getting? What kind of expenses are there? So it's really looking at where your dollars are and making sure that your dollars are working for you at the best way possible by looking at the returns you're getting from these places where your dollars can be. So that's step number 1, is make your money work for you. So investing tip number 2 from Rich Dad Poor Dad is focus on acquiring assets. So what do I mean by focus on acquiring assets? So he describes assets as things that put money into your pocket while liabilities take money out of your pocket. So the idea is that you have your income and you subtract out the expenses that you have, and what's left is your cash flow. And the goal being positive cash flow, meaning your income is more than the expenses. Once you have positive cash flow, then these are the choices you can make. You can either do nothing with it and let it sit into a checking account, or you can do what we talk about in this channel, which is investing, and you can invest into assets that generate revenue, generate return on the investment. So things like stocks or real estate. And then the other option is that you're taking your cash flow and you're paying for liabilities. And for some people, that liability could be a school debt, or credit card debt, or a mortgage, or a car payment. So the point here is that you want to continuously work on increasing your income, whether it's earned income or passive income, portfolio income. And in my case, I still work a full-time job. So I'm generating earned income, but I'm also doing a lot of investing and a lot of real estate investing and stock investing, so a lot of passive and portfolio. So income, you increase that, while at the same time you always want to work on decreasing your expenses. frugal, being smart about what you're spending money on. And the more you can do that, increase your income and decrease your expenses, then the ultimate goal, of course, is that your cash flow increases. Positive cash flow. So what happens is, as you continue to work on those things, again, that's a little bit of personal finance there, as you continue to work on those things, as your cash flow increases and you are decreasing your liabilities, and you have worked on getting rid of the debts, the credit cards, the school loans, and at the same time you are going to take what cash flow you generated and you're going to increase your asset column. The whole idea here is that by acquiring assets, you have the income you decrease the expenses, you increase the cash flow, you buy assets, and those assets will get you more income, you decrease your expenses, you have more cash flow, you buy more assets, and then you have more income, and then the cycle continues, and that's how you generate wealth, is by having this circular pattern here of doing the right things when it comes to your personal finance as well as your investing plan. So that's what he means by focusing on acquiring assets. The third investment tip from Rich Dad Poor Dad I alluded to earlier is the three types of income and understanding the three types of income. So the first step here is to, first of all, recognize that there's more than one income. So before I read this book, before I started really understanding personal finance and investing, I thought the only way you generate income is you work a job. You go to school, you learn certain tasks, you learn certain skills, and then you generate income at a job. You trade 40 hours and you get a paycheck, that kind of thing. So that's earned income. So three types of income, that's the first type. And with three types of income, you have three different types of taxation, which we'll probably talk about in a different video. But earned income is one type of income. That is the type that most people are familiar with. Portfolio income is income from, generally it's income from paper assets like stocks and bonds. And we talk a lot about portfolio income on this channel, that's for sure. And on Fridays when I do videos, I go ahead and I will talk about specific stocks that I'm investing in currently, and also real estate. In fact, this Friday I'm going to have a video that's going to go over my current portfolio, my stock portfolio, as well as my watch list. So you want to check that out on Friday. So portfolio income, and that also includes not just the capital gains from your stocks from the portfolio, but also the dividends that you generate. So, and then the third one is passive income, and that is generated from other types of assets like real estate or royalties. So keep in mind that three types of income, know that those three types exist, and also that the three types are taxed in different ways, and that has significant effect on your bottom line and your wealth generation. Okay, so the fourth investing tip is choose your friends carefully. And I went ahead and I expanded that to choose your friends and influencers carefully. So what does that mean? That means that, and this is often overlooked, but it's very important, that you always want to know who it is that you're associating with, who you're surrounding yourself with, whose books you're reading, whose videos you're watching. And you want to associate yourself with successful people who are where you want to be. So I'll give an example. When I was earlier in my career, I had a colleague who's still a very good friend, and what made him different than most everyone else was that he told me a couple times that, you know what, I'm working because I enjoy it and I don't necessarily have to be here. So I asked him, well, how do you do that? And he said, well, because I own 12 real estate properties and I own stock, and I do very well. And it turns out that having talked to him at that point, he was basically the wealthiest person I knew, and he was the absolute millionaire next door type, you know. So I wound up talking to him. Every lunchtime we would talk about something like what's going on with the stock market or real estate or or should I buy gold, that type of thing. So not just the friends that you associate with, but the influencers, the YouTube channels. I used to spend a lot of time watching fun YouTube videos on camping and vlogging and stuff, and those are still fun, and I still watch those. I'm still a subscriber to a lot of those channels. But I also have found that I'm watching more personal finance channels, more investing channels. I want to know what other people are interested in, what stocks they're looking at, and that helps me determine what I'm going to start looking at and evaluating myself. So this is often very underrated and often not considered as really being that important. Well, it's very important to really choose who you surround yourself with, and choose who it is that you're listening to, and whose books you're reading, and whose philosophy you're following. And the fifth investing tip from Rich Dad Poor Dad, which I think is probably the most important out of all of them, is this is verbatim from the book: find a reason greater than reality. So what was he talking about there? He's talking about the why. Why are you interested and willing to learn about personal finance and investing? Why do you watch the financial news? Also, as you progress in your career with personal finance and your investing strategies, the thing you're going to find is that there's going to be a lot of obstacles. There's going to be a lot of opposition. There's going to be, hey, why are you investing in the stocks? Don't you know that that's just gambling? You're going to get a lot of, hey, why are you investing in real estate? My cousin Joe, he invested in real estate in 2007 and 2008, and he lost his shirt. So you're going to get a lot of opposition. There's going to be sacrifices. So my wife and I, for a long time, we've lived in the smallest houses. We've lived in the most economical parts of town, and we have driven the cheapest cars that we buy at CarMax. So those are sacrifices, but the fact is we bought all of that with cash, and we saved a tremendous amount from interest payments. We sacrificed a lot to get out of school debt really early on, and that was a very smart decision. So we've done very well ever since then, because we didn't have that hanging over our head. So there's a lot of challenges, a lot of sacrifices, but you always got to ask the why. You have to find that reason that's greater than reality, greater than the challenges that you would have to endure. So for us, our reason is that we want to be able to not worry about money, because we want to be able to provide for our kids, and we want to be able to give them something when they're older, and give them a head start financially, and have some lessons that we can teach them that maybe we weren't taught when we were young. So there's a lot of why, and that's why it's important to know what yours is, what's your reason, before you embark on this type of endeavor. In the book, Robert Kiyosaki talks about how gaining wealth is not easy, and yeah, I mean, there's all these oppositions. So it's really important to understand what your why is, because you're going to need that when things get tough, when things get challenging, when you have obstacles and you have people questioning why you're doing it. So you need to have your why, you need to have your reason that's greater than the reality of those challenges. So again, those are only 5 investing tips from Rich Dad Poor Dad. There's a whole lot more knowledge and a lot of wisdom and tips and strategies in that book. But I just wanted to go over some of the key investing tips, and I'll probably do another video down the road with 5 more investing tips. So if you like this content, definitely give a like to the video, hit subscribe and the notification bell for future videos. Again, I have these educational videos on Tuesday and more action, concrete investing videos on Fridays. So I hope to see you on the next video.